Monday morning, Monday the 3rd of July. This is day one, keto and intermittent fasting. I am not going to do intermittent fasting it will stop eventually, hopefully. I'm not going to do intermittent fast. Jesus Christ. So that's 92.1 kilos. This is a little bit insane because less than 2 months ago, I was 8 kilos lighter than that. I've had a thyroid flare-up and hey. So that was a little bit of a shock. I knew it was less than 3 months ago. I was 84 kilos and I was running every day. I then did quite a bit of traveling. There's some stress in my life, you know, like everybody. And I've literally put on 8 kilos in less than 3 months. That's having a freaking flare up. I mean, you see how puffy my eyes are. I can show you my ankle. My ankle. Gross, right? Anyway, this is my journey. This is day one. I am doing, I don't want to call it keto. Let's call it low carb. Low carb, intermittent fasting. I'm not going to do intermittent fasting by missing breakfast, which is like the norm. I'm going to do it stopping eating earlier in the day because one of the doctors I follow recommended that. I actually think that's harder, but that's certainly what I'm going to start with, and I'm going to try. This is how I start my day every day, regardless of what I'm doing. This is Diotomatious Earth. Look it up. It is fantastic for rehydrating the body, especially if you have autoimmune diseases. Just don't breathe it in or put it on a wooden surface because it strips everything. Real game changer for me, even though I'm having a flare up because I'm not doing the other things, I'm still doing this. So teaspoon, large teaspoon, start with very little Diotomatious Earth and then follow it up with some very, very sprinkled Himalayan salt, or I can't remember the name of the other salt, like not table salt in your water. This rehydrates your body, even though everybody will tell you it doesn't. That's how I start my day, full glass of water. That's how I started my day before this, but that's how I'm going to continue to do it. Next, I will leave it half an hour and I will do sea moss. Let me show you. This is the most disgusting thing on earth. This is Irish sea moss. It comes in a packet. Like, I'm going to lose it all. My packet's split. Anyway, it's dried. It's dried seaweed. You soak it overnight in water. It sucks up all the water. Can you see that without me spilling it? It sucks up the water. Put a little bit more water in it and then you blend it and like literally blend it as much as you can because you don't want any bits in it because it is foul. So I like put it in one of these blenders. I don't put it in a tall one. I put it in one of these blenders because I find this one works best for getting all I don't want any lumps or bumps in it because it's literally I now take a large dessert spoon in the morning, leave a bit of time after the Diotomatious Earth, then have your sea moss, but blend this till it's completely smooth. And okay, there's two schools of thought on taking sea moss with thyroid issues because it has a lot of iodine in, but we need iodine for our thyroid. I'm not a medical professional in any way. I'm doing what works for me. Obviously, like for a year, I went from extreme issues with my thyroid to getting it fixed, to then having even more extreme issues with my thyroid because I went to a doctor and he put me on that synthetic steroid, and then I had another doctor put me on 15 different synthetic vitamins and my body just shut down. My body just wasn't doing anything. Anyway, I worked out all the things myself. I got myself to a really good place, not healed by any means, but certainly on the journey and better than I had been for years. And then I kind of fell off. I did a lot of traveling in March, and from March I caused my body to have some sort of flare up, and like I said, I put on 8 kilos. It's the 3rd of July. And I am struggling and suffering. So I am doing intermittent fasting. So I'm having breakfast, but not having an evening meal. And like a low carb type keto thing. Absolutely nothing, as much as I can, absolutely nothing processed. So come join me. Right, I'm gonna go blend this up. It's horrible. It's really, really horrible, but it's really, really good for you. So one of the reasons I'm doing intermittent fasting by having breakfast and not an evening meal is I take supplements and all this sort of thing. And I just don't like doing it on an empty stomach. Like if you're taking any sort of supplement or whatever, doing it on an empty stomach is... my stomach personally doesn't like it. That's one way to do it. And also one of the doctors I follow on TikTok, on Instagram, who also has thyroid issues, recommends that you reverse the traditional way of doing intermittent fasting. Like it's definitely easier to skip breakfast and eat later, but this seems to work better, is to have breakfast, lunch, skip dinner, or just to eat within those 8 hours, I think it is. And this is another thing that I was doing and then stopped doing, which I believe played a part in my flare-up. So outside in the morning, early in the morning, get yourself some sunlight in your eyes. I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see. Get some sunlight in your eyes. This doctor I follow, Dr. Janine, she's Canadian. She also says expose your belly to the sun. It's okay, don't worry, I'm not going to do that on camera. Very healing for your belly. So I'm going to do some human garage fascia maneuvers. Like I said, I was doing these twice a day and I just stopped. Plays a massive part in my healing. So I will speed up this video when I share it. I'm hoping you can see me. So palette swipe, right leg over left, right arm under left, swipe your palette right to left, 6 times. And just release, walk around for 1 to 3 minutes. So you can move and shake. Number 2, right leg over left, right hand under right armpit, left hand on right shoulder. Look to the left, turn your body to the right, pull in your undercarriage and your belly button, stick your tongue in the left side of your mouth and breathe 6 times. So this is what the sea moss looks like once it's been blended. Can you smell it? Ugh. I pour some boiling water into some jars, put it in jars, and it's good for about a week in the fridge. You'll know when it starts to go, it goes thinner, because like once you put this in the fridge, at the moment it's quite thin. Put it in the fridge, it thickens up. My sea moss, I have L-Glutamine. I really like this one, and I know it works on my, like all my joints. My joints get really, really bad. I've tried this one, but it's okay. This is my preference, definitely. So one of the reasons I take L-Glutamine is for my joints, but I'm going to do another video on this because I've heard on TikTok, of course, that it's really, really good for stopping cravings. That's not why I take it. I have terrible joints, but it helps as well. So I take it in powder form because it has less rubbish in it. I also take my Magnesium before I go to bed in powder form. I know, like, people love or hate this company. For this supplement, I love it because it has no other fillers in it. Same doctor, Dr. Janine, says, so I said at one point, I was on 15 different supplements from not a homeopathic doctor, one of those naturopath doctors. And she did the thing to see if these were good supplements for me, the pendulum. But then I found out they were all full of fillers. So I'm taking fillers times 15, times however many pills of those I'm taking. It could be 3. Some of them were 6. And I took them for 2 years. It cost me a fortune. And I never felt any better. So I cut it down to magnesium because that helps me sleep. And everybody is lacking magnesium, basically. There's many different types. This is the one by glycinate. That's probably... Glycinate is the one I've found works best. There's many. I didn't get on with, I was put on magnesium citrate. I found that's very low quality apparently, but also I had terrible constipation, and it just gave me diarrhea, but not in a good way. Not in a good way. So by glycinate, if you take too much magnesium, I think all of them give you the poops. Again, not in a good way. Sorry, I'm just clearing up some stuff. So, finding my socks. So yeah, as much as I can, I look for natural supplements to take. The only supplements I take now are the magnesium and the L-Glutamine. Those are in powders. I also make my own turmeric paste, and I also take curcumin capsules, because I have inflammation everywhere in my body. Like at the moment, it's so much in my poor elbow. But I've had it since I was 12 in my knee. So another thing that I do, I can't see it now, is I get some, this is not what's in here. I get some really, really clean ingredients. Hand cream, face cream, whatever. I make magnesium oil and I mix them together, and 2 or 3 times a day I plaster this over my feet, because my feet are in a really bad way. Apart from the fact I have heel spurs, I don't think it helps with them, but it helps with the, so one of the things with thyroid is you get incredibly dry skin. I think you get incredibly dry everywhere, internally and externally, my organs, everything. So I put that cream on my feet, I put my socks on, and repeat. So yes, I take enzymes. I take enzymes for my stomach because, like I said, well, that's another story, but I think the doctor made me chronically constipated because I'd never been constipated in my life, and then I was 2 years constipated. That was the thyroid medication he gave me. So I take an enzyme, the curcumin, and a probiotic. So that's going from 15 different supplements to basically those 3, and at different times in the day, the L-Glutamine and the, I can't remember, magnesium. That's what works for me. Like, I am really, really anal about taking my magnesium, because I have not slept properly. I have not slept through the night in 30 years. wake up every hour. I can go to sleep exhausted. 10-20 minutes later, I'm awake. So magnesium doesn't stop me waking up, but I go to sleep really easily, because I used to wake up and that's it. I'd be awake and just be awake. So really helps me go back to sleep. So I wake up, I get my Kindle or whatever, and I fall back to sleep, which is freaking awesome after 30 years. So that's my magnesium oil in a clean body cream. Is another way to absorb magnesium. And depending on where you are and how you are, that may be enough magnesium. That may be just absorbing it through our skin, your skin, because it's, you know, that's our biggest organ. These are the supplements I take once I've done with everything else. So these guys are good. These are from the same company. So the probiotic and then the mass enzymes. I take one of those in the morning and one of those at night each. And then this is my baby. Go find Super Botanic. They are a fantastic British company. These I think originally come from America, but you can get them on Amazon and on their own website. Let me give, Biotomizers. Very good. Then Super Botanic, I have promoted these guys a lot because this is the cleanest ingredients of anything I've ever found. And the company, it was a small startup company. They are really, really good. I love them. So I take one of those in the morning and one of those at night. And like they have their recommendation of what you should take and everything, but if I'm flying or if I'm standing for long periods of my feet, I will take an extra one because, like I said, I have a lot of inflammation. But I take this as well as golden paste. Let me show you my golden paste. I make my own golden paste. Excuse the state of my fridge. So I make a massive jar. In fact, I have 2, and I take 3 times a day. I take a teaspoon of turmeric paste, which is turmeric and coconut oil and black pepper, and I actually now put a little cayenne pepper in it, but I've run out as you can see. Before I've started my day of fasting or not fasting or low carb or whatever, I've taken a lot of stuff. So like I said, it is one of the reasons to eat breakfast for me. I don't want all that in my belly without eating, but I'm not I haven't written it all down. I'm going to write it all down to make it very, very clear for me. I'm going to, you know, if it works, if I feel 100% better, I'm definitely going to create a program out of this. I've got really, really good feeling and vibes about this. This is going to change everything. So there is no gatekeeping. There is nothing. This is me, raw and real. 3 months ago, I was in a fantastic place, well into my healing journey. 3 months on, I'm 8 kilos heavier, which, okay, that's 8 kilos. It's the way I feel. For me, it's the way I feel. My joints are inflamed. My gut is not working properly. I'm angry. And I'm not an angry person. I'm not. I'm just got like this aggression building in me, almost like I'm well past it now, but almost like I'm premenstrual all the time. And don't go at me, it's not menopause. I am way, way past that. It's something to do with the inflammation in my body, probably inflammation in my brain. If I knew more about it, that's probably very inflamed. So I want short, sharp. Obviously, I'm not going to come off it and do stupid things. I want a fantastic kickstart. And I believe this is it, and I will make a program of it and I will share it with everybody because this is going to revolutionize my, like I was there, then I wasn't there, and I'm going to be there again. Breakfast is going to be feta cheese and tomato omelette. So this is just some cut up. It looks good, doesn't it? And I'm going to pour the egg mixture. That's just eggs and a little bit of black salt. And I'm going to pour that into the omelette. I'm just making this up as I go along, so if it doesn't work, which it looks like it may not, I don't care, I'll still freaking eat it. It's very colourful. I should have videoed my
omelette before the flip. It's not quite as pretty as it was.
So it's nearly 1 o'clock, day 1 of intermittent fasting and low carbing it. I've had a big omelette with tomatoes and feta cheese. I've had a ton of water, all my supplements. I've had homemade ginger beer that's sweetened with monk fruit, which is compliant. I don't drink coffee other than, I do drink coffee, but I drink decaf, but I'm getting the symptom headache. Up to now I'm okay. Apart from that, I'm a bit whether I'm going to get a full-blown headache. So I've been working on my laptop all morning, creating the most beautiful digital chat GPT prompts. But I think I just need to get up and move a bit. So I'm going to have a tidy around and do some physical stuff instead of brain stuff. So far, so good. So far, so good.